Hello, my name is Callum Giles, and I'm the director of this short film. The primary technical goal for this project was to investigate emotional storytelling using a simple yet stylized visual approach, allowing mood and performance to drive the narrative. My goal was to create something genuine that dealt with mental health in a subtle yet grounded way, focusing on two characters, Felix and Zian, while not confusing the plot or message. This opening shot on the field was important because it set the tone of isolation and mystery straight away. There's no music, just the footsteps, and that silence is intentional. It forces the viewer to sit with it. Felix stumbles across the frame, and we don't really know what's happened yet, but we know he's been through something. That ambiguity hooks the audience in. The scene of Felix waking up in bed was designed to feel disoriented. We used voiceover here to explore his mental state, how he's stuck in his own head. He moves slowly, deliberately, with minimal sound design except for subtle ambient noises, which helps highlight that internal focus. The transition from bedroom to the outside stairwell was one of the smoother cuts. I wanted the lighting in his room to feel cold and distant, while the outside had an open grey natural light that made everything feel more vulnerable. The scene on the train platform was the first proper interaction between Felix and Zian. I shot it in handheld for Zian's approach to make it a bit more personal and raw, like you're watching it from someone's memory. The cheers with the vodka bottles was a little nod to teenage carelessness, but it's also a coping mechanism. They're smiling, but you know it's masking something deeper. This part, when in that small green space across from the car park, was one of the emotional turning points. Zian starts hinting at struggles, and I deliberately shot it without music, just ambient sound and muffled street noise. And his line about game over and hinting his death hits hard because it's such a subtle way of signaling something serious. We kept Felix mostly quiet here because the focus needed to be on Zian, and the audience already knows Felix is too emotionally out of his depth to notice what's right in front of him. The crossfade into Felix waking up again was designed to visually represent the passage of time, but also that sense of emotional stasis. He's in the same physical position, but everything's changed. This was one of my favourite transitions in the film because it ties the visual back to the emotional journey. The note Zian leaves is never explicitly read aloud. It's just hinted at, which I thought was more powerful. We added a close-up on the fold of the paper and used subtle audio design to isolate the moment and create that pause before the emotional drop. Ending the film with that fade to black was a conscious choice. It's a quiet moment that lets the viewer sit with what just happened. No score, just silence again. It bookends the film emotionally, just like it started in silence. One of the biggest challenges was filming on the train platform. We had to time it between train arrivals, keep it low profile, and work with natural light. The handheld over-the-shoulder shot of Zian was done in one take and actually almost didn't make it due to the passing train ruining the audio. Luckily, we captured it just before it pulled in. Working with the cast was smooth. There was a lot of trust involved, and because we didn't use much dialogue early on, we focused a lot on the facial expression and body language. There was one scene in the car park where Zian improvised a line and ended up making the final cut just because it felt so real. The feedback we received was mostly focused on how emotionally restrained but effective the story was. Some viewers wanted more closure or clarity, but I think that ambiguity is part of what makes the message stick. After feedback from early viewings, we actually trimmed some of the dialogue to preserve the pace and silence. And in terms of my original aim to create something emotionally impactful with limited dialogue and minimalism, I'd say we achieved that. It resonated with our target audience, especially younger viewers familiar with mental health struggles. It definitely fits within the genre of psychological drama and character-driven storytelling. Overall, if I had more time, I might explore Zian's character a little more. Maybe in a prequel type format, but in terms of time management, we stayed on track. And the shoot was smooth overall. What I've learned from this is that less can be more, especially when it comes to showing emotion on screen. And next time, I'll pay even more attention to sound mixing, because even subtle things make a big difference. Thanks for watching and listening.